Hi, and welcome to another episode of SMECO Connects. I'm Sonja Cox, your host, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tom Dennison.
Hey, Sonja. It's great to be here again, and welcome to another podcast. And we're very happy to be joined today by Jeff Drumm. He is one of our transmission system operators in our operations center, in our engineering and operations building. And Jeff, you and I started here about almost 20 years ago. And so thanks for being here today. And so if you could just kind of introduce yourself and what do you do on a daily basis?
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. I came here, almost 15 years ago. First came here into the lines program. I went through the program, became a lineman. And then about a year after becoming a journeyman, I went into the operations as a distribution operator. Did that for about 7 years. And then I became a transmission operator, and I've done that for the last 5 years. So as a transmission operator, we monitor what the bulk electrical system's doing. We monitor the voltages, and we're trying to stay ahead of the game to watch the flows and just mitigate any kind of troubles that might be coming up and catching them before they happen.
Is there a big difference between the transmission system operator job and the distribution system operator?
There's some similarities, but there is a lot of differences. There's a lot more automation on the transmission side. I can control a lot more of the switching from SCADA on our end without having to have men in the field to do the switching. There's still a lot that they do, and we work with them. But during storms, we can lose a transmission line, and I can do the switching from SCADA right in the office and get the line on a lot of times without the men. Where distribution, most of the time, they have to go out and have the men do switching. So that's a big difference. Usually on the transmission side are bigger outages than the distribution.
Right. So I guess that's why we, why we always want to get, if we have a big outage, we want to get the transmission system back up first and then work on the other things.
Yep. And like I said, we work hand in hand with each other with the distribution and transmission. We're take a little priority first just to get the transmission up first because it's the most customers.
Mm-hmm.
And the distribution doesn't work without the transmission.
Correct.
So
right.
That's a big part of it, right?
Yes.
So you mentioned the term SCADA. For our viewers at home watching this, that is the system that we have that is a fiber network that goes between substations and on all of our transmission lines, allows you to communicate remotely from the operations center. Is that correct?
That is correct. We're able to control. Also, we're able to see all our data points, and we get all our information back, what's going on at the substation from SCADA.
And I think, Sonja, for those of us who are non-engineers, non-operators like you and I, when we're getting the emails about outages, and we know instantaneously at the operations center when a substation goes down, or we have a major transmission line that is down because you guys are notified through the SCADA system.
That's correct. Yep.
Good. To be a transmission system operator, you have to have certain training and certain certifications. Can you walk us through those?
Yeah. So to be an operator, you have to be PGM certified, and you also have to be NERC certified. They both have a test you have to pass. Once you pass both tests, you become certified. Then every 3 years, you also have to keep up 140 CEHs, credit hours, that you'll be taking online classes. And you'll also be going to seminars because you got to have simulation hours on top of that. And you got to have 32 EOP hours every year to keep your certifications active too.
What's EOP?
Emergency operation hours.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
And
so we're always working on those too during the year.
Sure.
And it keeps you fresh, right? Keeps you, and when we go to these conferences, it's also getting you working with other operators and see what their systems are doing, and it's keeping you fresh what's going on in the market and stuff too. So,
and you mentioned NERC, which is the North American Electric Reliability Corporation.
Yeah.
So we have to report to them, and they come in and audit our systems and make sure that nobody can get into them.
Yes. Yep. They're the big boss.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's important for people to understand that the bulk electric system is so vital in terms of, the bread and butter substations that we have, the 69,000 volt to, that steps down the voltage from that point to go to your home and business. Those 69 lines are fed by the 230 kV lines that we have here in Southern Maryland, and we're connected with Pepco's 230 kV lines. So,
that's correct.
So do you see a lot of overlap, or do you communicate a lot with Pepco operators and things?
Yeah, we communicate with Pepco on a daily basis. They're sending over requests daily of times that they need outages, so that on our lines that we need to remove load so that they can have outages on that line to their circuit. So we got to move our load to a different circuit.
Right. You probably do a lot of drills too, I would assume.
Yes, weekly we do drills with PJM. Yeah. On the weekends we have, it could be a reactive reserve check, and they will check to see, for instance, our capacitors, how many are available.
Okay.
We also will do load dumps. They're just simulated drills. And we'll call up there and we'll tell them we did a simulated drill, that we dumped so much load, so that we're, in case a real situation happened, that we could do it and we're ready to do it within the time constraints that they have set for us.
And what kind of situation might happen that would cause us to need to do a load dump?
If there was, say, for instance, PGM found that there was a constraint on a transmission line somewhere, and it was overloaded, so we had to drop load. Okay. Or they lost enough generation somewhere. And so that we didn't injure the bulk electric system, they would need us to drop load. And they would give us the amount, and it would be up to us to decide where we needed to drop it in our system.
And I do remember Christmas Eve.
Yes, came very close.
Oh, yes, we did. I remember getting that phone call at like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I think I got a call right after that too.
Because our whole goal is to never drop load. We never want to drop any customers if we don't have to.
But I think it's very helpful for people to understand that on those really, really cold days, especially here in Southern Maryland, where we're very reliant on electric heating and cooling, but on a day like that, where even though many businesses are closed, many people are using a lot of electricity during that time.
And a lot of people, too, think we use more electricity during the summer because you think it's hot, but it's kind of the opposite here.
It's definitely
the load's higher during the winter.
We set a new all-time peak this past January.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
So do you find it a little more stressful on a daily basis kind of in the wintertime, Jeff, versus the summer, or is it steady pretty much all year round?
The worst, I would say, is in the winter when it's really cold, like we said, during the Christmas time, or January when it's really cold, and probably summer during thunderstorms.
Yes.
Just because we could lose a lot of different transmission lines at the same time. That's when it can get stressful, because we usually lose them all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to mitigate so many outages, and there's only one person usually in there, and you gotta do it all, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't that long ago we had a substation outage at Bannister substation, and it was a regular weekday morning, and it was probably right around that 6 o'clock time frame, and 6 a.m. And I remember I started getting calls from the school system. And everybody always wants to know, from a school system perspective, do we need to start running buses? Do we need to do contingency plans? And I was like, well, I know it's a transmission issue right now. It's affecting the substation. So hopefully they can get it back on pretty quickly. And fortunately, we did. And that's, I think, helpful for people to understand that even though there's a large number of outages right away because that substation went down, hopefully we can kind of isolate that, get it fixed, and get it back on. Is that accurate?
Yep. Yeah, I would agree with that. And they've also done a lot of upgrades, like in the Farmington area.
Right.
That a lot of that now is tied together, where the customer shouldn't even see anything when it operates now, and which is great. I mean, we'll see it on our end. We'll see the alarms and something happened, but they shouldn't see the outages like there might have been in the past. And it just shows that SMECO's really building their infrastructure and making it better.
Yeah, and those those operations you talk about when your lights blink,
Yep.
a lot of that is protection, right?
Yes.
Because your lights are blinking because there's a device that's detecting a fault, right?
And it could be as simple as the breakers. It's doing its job. It's protecting the SMECO equipment from damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the banister thing was very unfortunate for an animal, but the good news was that we wound up getting it back online pretty quickly, and the schools opened up, and I got a nice note from the assistant superintendent. So
that's always a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I like getting the nice notes.
Yes.
We get enough complaints.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
The complaints usually go farther than the than the positive ones, but there is good ones, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jeff, if you were to, talk to anybody, I know transmission system operators are a very valuable commodity in the industry right now.
Yep.
So if you were to kind of give maybe somebody who'd be interested in getting into that line of work some advice, what would you tell them?
The industry is changing.
Right.
When I kind of went into operations back in distribution, a lot of the operators were coming from the field.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we go to these seminars and I'm seeing other companies, a lot of them are coming straight out of college. A lot of them are engineers. They're really not pulling from the field anymore. And I guess it's just the industry's changing, right?
Sure.
And a lot of them are getting certifications before they even get hired.
Makes them more hireable.
Yes. Yeah. So that's where it's really changing. So I guess today the big thing is going and getting a college degree, which that's not for everybody, right? I mean, I like the idea of coming through the field and learning as you're going. That's what gave me the experience I needed to become where I am today, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's not. I always thought for a good department to grab a little bit from every area makes a good department, right? Mm-hmm. Grab some from the field, grab some from engineering. That's to me would make the better department. But
do you think the guys in the field have a little bit more trust in you if you've been out there and done that?
Just because of the respect. I got respect for them because I came from there and I know a lot of them, and I feel the same, or I would think the same of me from them. They, knowing them, yeah.
There's a bond there that
there is. There definitely is a bond, right?
Yeah.
And once you're a lineman, you're always a lineman.
Sure.
So, and you stay in connection with them guys too outside of work. So,
well, it's funny, I have a daughter who's in college and a junior in high school, and I talk to a lot of their friends and things who are going into college, and they're asking, maybe what they're going to get into and things. And some of them have talked about, I want to be a math teacher. I want to do, psychology or whatever. And I always just say, keep your eyes open on the utility front.
I definitely agree.
When it comes to everything from engineers, we're constantly looking for engineers. And transmission system operators, distribution system operators, these are very in demand.
Yes,
highly, and you all are very valuable commodities. Yes. So I kind of just want to throw that out there for any viewers to.
There's definitely companies always looking for them. Right. So I mean, the kids looking for careers. There's definitely going to be jobs there in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's hopefully making a comeback or a renaissance, a nuclear renaissance. We haven't had any new nuclear power plant. Well, we just finished one not too long ago down in Georgia, but it seems like that might be the next kind of wave of generation.
Hopefully it is. It's kind of crazy that it went so long without any.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the way the cost of energy is going, I think you are going to see a lot more of them coming back to help drive the price back down.
I'm just wondering how many colleges still have nuclear programs.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Yeah, I know. But I would think, we went through this phase about cybersecurity, and there was so much of a push to get everyone into that cybersecurity space. And what we do on a daily basis, you want to talk about very highly regulated, highly secure systems that you all deal with. Yep. To me, it would be kind of a natural progression.
And it's getting more secure all the time with all the SIP regulations, and which it needs to be, right?
Sure.
It's a good thing that it keeps getting more secure.
Yeah, and it takes special training and certifications to operate it, and we certainly thank you for doing it.
Yeah, I think that's another aspect of your job. Like if you were talking to somebody about getting into it, just how much continuing education there is.
Yes, it's a continuous thing. You're going to continue to learn and study, which is good though. I mean, it keeps you active, and
Right.
education's always a good thing.
Yeah. I like to learn something new every day.
Yes.
You know,
When I was in school and younger, I hated it, but as you get older, you kind of enjoy it a little more.
you get to know how important it is.
So, Jeff, did you grow up here in
I
Southern
did.
Maryland?
I grew up in the Finger Lakes area of New
Okay.
York.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
So
Do you get back there often? or-
I try to go back at least once or twice a year just to visit family. I have a
Right.
little bit of family around this area, but I call home here now. So
Yeah.
so I've raised my kids here, and
I did vacation up there before. It's
Okay.
very nice. Very nice
Yes.
spot.
Is that where they have wineries?
yes, it's right around the lakes. It's loaded with wineries. It's very rural.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Cold.
Yeah, sure.
If it's rural, I wonder if they're served by co-ops.
They are.
Oh, cool.
The local one we had in our area was Steuben Rural Electrical.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and then they have NICEAG there. That was their investor owned.
Okay.
Yeah.
They run things a little differently there than how the co-ops here, where SMECO has the whole entire county.
Mhm.
Where there they run, one will be on one side of the street, one's on the other. It's a little different, but
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
most of the day you're taking orders and requests of outages they want to do, right? Your main point of what your job you do is your outages that happen unexpected, your emergency outages.
Mm.
That's your high stress point of the job, where you got to make those quick decisions, right?
Right.
Because you want to get people on as quick as you can, but you don't want to damage anything while you're doing
Right.
it, right? That's
It's a big
A
deal.
fine line.
Yeah. Very fine line.
But I mean, you guys have lots of procedures in place that you follow.
We do. And the system is getting more and more automated all along, which is good, right?
Hopefully, eventually, we'll have some of that automation on the distribution
Yes,
side.
I think it'll help some.
Yeah.
The nice thing is you can override it too, because there's times that you know what it is and you can actually beat the automation too. Not
Mhm.
always, but it's,
Yeah.
and then they're taking over Indian Head. That's been a little learning because you have the generation, which is new to us because we don't
Mhm.
have any generation before, but
That's right. We are generation owner now.
which it turns it into a microgrid because it
Yeah.
only feeds itself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it's a new thing
Yeah.
that is seamless into the SMECO system,
yes,
and
Yep.
and that I know was not something that just happened overnight.
right.
It was a lot
And it's
of
completely automated, which
Right.
is different.
yeah. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been a big job.
Yeah, they've done a good job with the relays and all that
Yeah.
in a short amount of time.
Good to hear.
I was surprised they had 4 kV. They had a 4 kV system down there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this one today.
Yeah, me too.
We love bringing in employees and different parts of the
This
company,
was great. This was neat.
and just to share, just to kind of bring everybody up to speed on what goes on here at the
Yeah.
co-op, and I think it's a really proud thing that we like to show off. So
Yeah.
thanks for being here, my friend.
Yes.
well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Have a good rest of your day.
Well, thank you.